Hi, so my name's Abby. I'm a 26-year-old married mum of two. Around 5, 6 years ago, I went from being an average mum and an average wife to somebody who some days can't eat, sleep, walk, talk, or do anything for herself. This is my story. So, a lot of our followers and our customers have said that they would love us to do a YouTube channel. So here it is. It's going to be raw, it's going to be emotional, it's going to be happy, it's going to be sad, but I'm going to share our story with you. Day by day, week by week, we're going to be here. So first of all, I'm going to tell you more about me. So I've just given you the breakdown of who I am. So about 5, 6 years ago, let me go back to that. I was a 28-week preemie. I had a lot of illnesses when I was young, but I led a fairly average, normal, but then what's normal, childhood. And then I started dislocating and subluxing. It happened regularly, but they just thought it's hypermobility. So I just got on with it. I dealt with it. It became part of who I was, part of my day-to-day. And then at 17, I fell pregnant with my daughter. I gave birth to her at 18. About 3-4 months after I gave birth to her, I noticed something wasn't right with my right hip. I was getting a lot of pain. It took months, if not, it took about 18 months to get me in to see an orthopaedic consultant from the NHS. So I understand things are busy, I get that, but it was hell. I saw my surgeon, I saw my consultant who then turned into a surgeon, and he said I had a labrum tear, gave me two sets of steroid injections, everything seemed fine. We were advised that if we wanted more children to have them sooner rather than later. So we tried, but sadly we failed. So my husband and I decided to stop trying around 4 months before our wedding. We were due to get married in April of 2016. However, one drunken night in January 2016, our son was conceived. We announced we were 3 months pregnant on our wedding day. So that pregnancy, again, it was hard. I bled from 5 weeks with both of my children. I had a lot of pain. I generally had a lot of issues. Both kids, I went on maternity leave around the 28-week mark. With both kids, I went into preterm labour. With Alex, my youngest, I went into preterm labour with him at 30 weeks. Thankfully, the wonderful NHS staff were able to stop my labour and my delivery and keep him inside me. However, it did mean a couple of nights in hospital with a lot of drugs. I mean, steroid injections to help his lungs if they couldn't stop the labour. They gave me a lot of medication to try and help stop the labour itself. Anyway, things got stopped and we were thankful. Went home and everything seemed fine. About 2-3 weeks later, I started to lose the ability to walk. I started to lose feeling in my legs. And everyone just thought it was just my pregnancy. If I left the house, I was in a wheelchair. They decided it was in my best interest to induce me at 37.3. I then gave birth to him literally half an hour into 37.4, and he was fine. He was okay. So, and I felt okay for about 6-7 weeks after labour. I felt fine. I could walk. I could pick up my son. I could change his nappy. I could do the bottles. I could do the night feeds. But then something happened. He was born in the October. By the December, I struggled to walk outside the house. Around the house, I was fine. And then in the January, things got worse. I started to need to use crutches more and more. When I was out the house, I just wanted to push my son. So I pushed through the pain. But walks that should have taken 5 minutes were taking nearly an hour. And it sucked. It didn't just affect my life, it affected both of my children and my husband. And then in the February 2017, my husband bought me a mobility scooter. I was just 22 years old. So as you can imagine, I didn't want one. I didn't want to be seen on a mobility scooter. And there were times when I went out and I went up to the local shops and I got abused. I would have abuse hurled at me, telling me that I'm just fat and I'm just lazy and I just need to lose weight. But in all reality, I wasn't. I would have done anything to be able to walk, but I couldn't. It was taken away from me. I went to the doctors countless times. I was accused of being a drug addict. I was taken off all of my medication, pain relief, because they thought I was just doing it for the high. I had social services phoned on me, and an investigation launched. I then had a fall in my mobility scooter and was taken to A&E, I saw a doctor, had scans done. They told me everything was fine and that I need to man up and stop playing on it. I was sent home with paracetamol. 3 days later, my consultant looked at the x-rays and queried why I was sent home. Because in all reality, I actually had a condition called avascular necrosis. I will put these names in the bottom, so if you want to look into them, you're welcome to. I had a condition called avascular necrosis. It is a really, really rare condition, and it meant that the blood supply to my bone had stopped, and the bone was dying. You have 4 stages, stage 1, 2, 3 and 4. Stage 4 is a complete collapse. I was in stage 4. So those months of nobody believing me, those months of being accused of being a drug addict, those months of having social services phoned on me when I was right. I was in a lot of pain. So 2 months after I turned 23, August 2nd, 2017, I had my first total hip replacement. I was in hospital for a week. And it was nearly 2, but they agreed to let me out if my husband promised to watch me up and down the stairs. But it was not an easy recovery. But my goal at the end of that was to walk my daughter to school on her first day of year R. And I did that. I walked her to school, holding her hand and holding my head held high. And it felt great. I started the gym and I felt good. But then I didn't. I started getting all over hiccups. It literally felt like I was having a hiccup from my belly that went up and down my whole body. It was horrible. For months we ignored it and we thought, oh, it's just me being me. And as time went on, more and more things happened. They went from being all over hiccups to full-blown seizures, to my legs and my hands going numb, to losing weakness in my hands, forgetting who people were and forgetting what things did. I went to the GP. They were really concerned. They sent me to go see a neurologist. They did scans, MRIs, CTs to rule out MS, brain cancer, tumour, you name it, they had to rule it out. In January 2018, I was then diagnosed with functional neurological disorder. It has similarities to MS, but it doesn't show up on a brain scan. It is a horrible condition. From everybody who suffers from it is different. Everybody has symptoms in different ways. So just because my symptoms are different to yours doesn't mean your FND is no worse. So for me, I have seizures, so they're non-epileptic attacks. I have numbness in my arms and legs. I lose the ability to walk, talk, sleep, speak, eat, drink, you name it. There are days where I can't swallow. There are days where I can't cut up my food. There are days where I can't stand. And there are days where I try to talk and it comes out like gibberish. I know my family will always say, well, that happens a lot of the time. You just talk rubbish. No, there are days where I go to say banana and it'll come out as fridge. It sucks, but it's part of me. And then a couple months later, I was then diagnosed with fibromyalgia. This affects my muscles and makes everything feel like it's on fire. And then life didn't seem to let up then. I kept dislocating and subluxing more and more. I kept getting really bad stomach pains. I was then sent to see a rheumatologist in June 2019, so last year. And at first they weren't sure whether or not I was Ehlers-Danlos, so I was sent home being told it was hypermobility. And then I got a phone call to say it was Ehlers-Danlos. So then the heart scan started. because obviously I have Ehlers-Danlos type H. So this means that I sublux and dislocate regularly. But not only that, I'm at risk of my organs going to elasticity. So looking back now, they believe my Ehlers-Danlos, had it been diagnosed when I was younger, they would have realised that the preterm labour that I had with both my children was actually because my body couldn't cope because of the Ehlers-Danlos, because I have low collagen. So I then went up to see a specialist in London in February. Up at the Royal Orthopaedics Hospital in London, obviously, and they confirmed it's Ehlers-Danlos type H. I was then told I need to see a gastroenterologist because I was having really bad stomach pains and I couldn't poo on my own. People might laugh at that. In all honesty, it's part of me now, so I laugh at it too. Don't worry if you laugh. So then I saw this consultant, and then they diagnosed with gastrointestinal dysmotility. That was diagnosed about 6 to 8 weeks ago now. So this is where the bowel and intestines start to stop working. So I can't poo on my own. The muscles in my bowel and my intestines don't contract when they should. So I have to take laxatives daily to be able to poo. If not, I get really bad belly pain and it fills up. And there are times where I'm literally throwing up shit. Poo comes out of my mouth. And I tell you now, you see this in the films and it looks the exact same, if not worse. The taste, it will never leave me. It is horrible. But at the end of the day, yes, I've had really horrible experiences. But now I laugh about it because it's part of me. I can't change that. There are times where I can't pee. I have to use a catheter. There are times where obviously I can't poo and I have to use tablets. And there will come a day where I will have to have a colostomy bag. But it is what it is. If you have a colostomy bag, don't worry about it. Embrace it. Embrace your disability like I do. So with everything that's been thrown at me, I've had to rely on a lot of different mobility aids. So at the minute I've got crutches and a wheelchair for when I'm out of the house, but I use walking sticks. I have bed rails, I have shower seats, bath benches, rails around my toilet, raised toilet seats, adapted stools in my kitchen, you name it, I've probably got it. So it was through using these products that there was things we started to notice that we wanted or needed, but either they weren't available or they were designed for the older generation. So they were bland and plain and had like outdated type print, and it wasn't me. It wasn't who I was. I wanted something on my aids that reflected who I was as a person, who I was as a mum, and who I was as a wife. I want to define my disability. I don't want my disability defining me. So after a lot of research, a lot of thinking, a lot of arguing, a lot of crying, we decided to set up Walking with Wheels. Sorry, my window's closed, but I live on a main road. So we set up Walking with Wheels, and Walking with Wheels creates bespoke items to make disabled life better, easier, and a little bit prettier. We tailor our products to our customers' wants, needs, likes, and dislikes. We also have a large clothing range, which includes disabled humour, condition awareness, and a range just around confidence boosting. We're also hoping to create an adaptive clothing range in the next year to 18 months, as well as lots of other products. So products that we do at the minute, we've got clothing ranges. So if I stand up, sorry, I've had a hip operation. See the next video and you'll understand this. I've had a hip operation on Wednesday and we're now Saturday, so I'm a bit slow at moving. So this is the top I've got on today. It sums up how I feel. So we've got clothes like that. We've got clothes that say the sleep you ordered is currently out of stock. We've got condition awareness for Ehlers-Danlos, fibromyalgia, functional neurological disorder. Sorry, my mind's just gone blank. There are lots more conditions that we're adding to the range, and if there's a condition that you want to see us do, just give us a message and we can add that in, not a problem. We also do cushion covers for wheelchairs, medication bags, padding for walking sticks. We are in the process at the minute of developing the paddings to go onto this arm frame for crutches. Padding for normal standard crutches I've got moulded, so I can't fit one on mine. As well as lots of things, including wheelchair bags, mobility scooter bags, mobility scooter seat covers, you name it, it's probably in the works in the minute. So with everything we do, our aim obviously is to make disabled life better, easier, a little prettier. We also donate to charity. So a percentage of our profits go to a variety of charities, from Purple Wings to the Mobility Charity and lots of others. Again, if you've got a charity you want us to support, let us know and we'll add it onto our list. We'll add them so they get the profits from the next item that we add. So we have a lot going on. We have a lot coming up. And I have a lot in pain. So that's me for today. Just giving you an introduction to who I am and what I do. If you've got any questions or anything else, please comment below. There's also a link to our Facebook page, Instagram, website, and our eBay shop in the comments in the section below. So our website is walkingwithwheels.co.uk. If you want to email us, it's info at walkingwithwheels.co.uk, and that's with an S on the end. Instagram and Facebook is at Walking with Wheels. So feel free to comment, share, tag, message us. Even if you just need a chat, you need someone to vent to, we're happy to help. We know how hard it can be on your darkest days, and I know for one that I don't ever want to see someone else go through what I've been through. So I'm here just raising awareness for the conditions that I've got, as well as anything that you've got. Share it with us. Embrace your disability. Define it, don't let it define you. Thanks for watching.